Thousands of years ago, there was a god that all worshipped. This god was all powerful, so he asked for the four most powerful kings in all the world to come forth. The four kings were King Charlie, King Arthur, King Drag, and King Hank. The god told the kings, "You four worship me with everything, so I will give you all my power in the form of playing cards." Each king laughed at the same time. Then King Arthur said, "My great lord and god, I mean no disrespect when I say playing cards are just a children's game. What does giving us such an item do?" Then the god spoke again. "Ah, great king of the West, the cards you shall receive are special. They are able to give the holder special abilities." King Charlie asked the god, "What kind of abilities?" The god responded, "Abilities that would make all enemies fall to your feet, with just your name spoken." Everyone, including the god, were quiet for a couple of minutes. Then the god continued, "Each of you will receive 13 cards. King Charlie, you shall receive the diamonds. King Arthur, you shall receive the clubs. King Drag, you shall receive the hearts. And King Hank, you shall receive the spades. Those who wield the spades card shall be granted magical powers. Those who wield the clubs shall get great strength and be formidable warriors. Those who wield the diamonds shall be granted superior intellect. To all great strength strategists with wisdom. Those who hold the hearts shall be granted the ability to be unseen, unheard to all. The god explained to the four kings as he gave each king one by one 13 cards, and then the god said, "Keep the king card. It will grant you leadership of all other cards of the same type. I hope each of you will give the other 12 cards to whom you choose. I do warn each of you. I have sent out 2 other cards. They will fall into somebody's hands sooner or later. Be careful." Each king laughed at this warning, and then the kings went to their countries. 20 years went by. The four kings gave the queen to their wives, then gave the jack to the most trusted man, gave their ace to the strongest warrior that they had, and gave the 9 numbers to the 9 strongest soldiers. They took their 48 soldiers and led them to conquer the world. The four kings never attacked each other for fear that God would take the power of the cards from them. The four kings thought that all was fine, no wars, no crime. Everything was great until 2 men picked up a card off the ground. The cards were 2 jokers. One joker was pure good, and the other joker pure evil. As soon as the power of the cards activated, evil attacked good, and they fought for 3 days. For 3 days they ravaged the land of the four kingdoms, killed thousands of people. Then, at the end of the 3rd day, the fighting stopped. No one knows why. But the first child born after fighting stopped was born with uncontrollable ability, turn invisible. And children all over the world were still being born with all kinds of powers. The scientists with the card of diamonds designed special playing cards to help control the powers of the children. When these children were born, a man by the name of Thomas Wilman built a school that he named Killam Academy. He built the school to specifically train children with the abilities. It was a very successful because it was the only school of its kind. Now, what I just told you is what everyone knows, but let me tell you something that no one knows. After the 3 days of fighting between good and evil, they were standing there face to face, and then they started walking towards each other slowly. Then they lifted their arms up and hugged each other. It may seem strange, but if you knew them like I did, you would understand. As they hugged, a glow could be seen emitting from them. It got so bright that you couldn't see anything. Then they disappeared. Right before they disappeared, they gave quite a few newborn children the powers of the 52 cards. They couldn't make them as powerful as the original, but the newborn children were still powerful. But they also combined the 2 powers of each joker into one, and took that power and gave it to a child who would be born 100 years into the future, because they wanted to see what a person would do with it if they were born with pure good and pure evil inside, to see if they would change the world. And the child does change everything. I know, because I am Deus, and I know all. I would like to thank all for watching, listening to this video. It's just a little sneak peek at something I am working on that will not be released till it is finished. Sad. But I wish I wish it release it now, but I want to release it when it's finished. But thank you all so much for listening, and I hope it will be liked when I finish it. Good day.